Hello. This section of our summit is with my good friend Wahe. She's an amazing person. She has taught yoga for 20 years. She had her own yoga center for 18 years. She does a lot of healing work, working with sound and with the breath. And we're going to talk about that a little bit, and she's also going to demonstrate some of that. And we're going to talk about how the kind of work that she does, the breathing and the sound work and the relaxation, is so important at helping a person stay healthy, stay vital, stay relaxed, lower their stress, so that as you age, you don't deteriorate the way people that are so stressed are. So thank you for meeting with us.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into how these tools you have can help people.
Thank you. So I studied Kundalini yoga and breath work, and I actually started learning about the Kundalini energy when I was about 16 years old. The breath has always been a major part of my life because I was originally a singer and a performer. So that breath always sustained the notes, and then later when I taught yoga and then became a breathwork healer, it all tied in. So my life has been a spiritual journey, and I grew up in a family where we did a lot of spiritual techniques and we were involved in community, and so it just was a natural progression to get to this point where I can be of service and offer these techniques of breath work, meditation, yoga, and healing work.
Good. By the way, you can tell this is a beautiful place we have here. This is where Wahe lives, in one of the canyons above Pasadena and Altadena. Okay, well, let's get into it. Talk about breath and the power of breath and how that can help people.
Well, what I like to think about is that from our first breath, that engages our life force energy. So you take that first breath in when you're born, and you give this cry of welcome to the world. And then from your first breath all the way to your last breath, when you exhale out and you pass away, everything in between, the breath is there for us. And the breath is automatic. It's part of our automatic system. It's part of everything that keeps us functioning. One of my teachers said that you can go without food, you can go without drinking for longer periods of time, but without breath, you're not going to last very long. So the breath is essential, and yet we take it for granted. We are automatically breathing, and it's only until you learn to regulate your breath that you are actually influencing your own nervous system, and you are making an impact on your glands and like actually circulating that prana and oxygen through your body.
Good. So what's the difference? What happens when we're breathing all the time, but how much of the time, I know for myself, I'm not aware that I'm breathing, it's just happening. What happens when you're able to concentrate and be aware of and focus on the breath?
That's a really good question. And what I've noticed through my own practice and then working with countless other people is that at first there is that unconsciousness, and then it's consistent practice, regular practice, until it becomes a habit to observe how the breath is moving through the body. And what it does is it actually lowers your blood pressure. It can calm your mind and your nervous system. It can lower the cortisol in your body. And the breath can be actually used as a tool to do all sorts of things. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, say, there's a pranayama for that. There's a breathing technique for that. If you're feeling like you need more energy, there's a breathing technique for that. We are going to show you some of these techniques later. And it's really exciting because anyone can do it. Mm-hmm. Anyone can start to observe the breath and feel the results within a minute.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. So it seems like there's a real connection between breath and meditation. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I mean, they just go hand in hand. They're completely interconnected. When we bring our attention to our breath, we are almost immediately moving into a meditative mind state. So when we're just on autopilot, we are in this kind of a mundane consciousness, and we may be reacting or acting in certain ways. But when we go to our breath and we deepen our breath, even just into the low belly, even just a simple, long, deep breath, then we are shifting our mindset into neutrality. The breath takes you into a neutral state, and that's the first phase of meditation. Because
what do you mean by neutral?
Neutral is when you just feel even, you feel balanced. It's not high, it's not low. It's not good, it's not bad. It's neutral, and I feel like it's calm. It's very calm and peaceful. It's non-reactive. So when we turn to the breath, we are in this accepting, non-reactive state, and then that takes us closer to a meditative state. And meditation can simply be observing your breath. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's one of the most basic meditations that there is making something that is automatic, making it conscious. Something's unconscious, making it conscious. So instantly, if you take a deep breath right now, you're going to notice, oh, wow, I'm actually part of this experience. This is not just happening to me. I'm collaborating with the breath. I'm co-creating with the universe right now. Mm-hmm. Just at this very, very fundamental level.
Right. Well, I'm glad we got a little bit into meditation, because I know that I do meditation, and I struggled for a long time with, I would focus on the breath, and then I would find that all of a sudden I was thinking about, what I had to do later in the day, and then I would remember, oh yeah, I'm supposed to focus on the breath. How do you work through that? I mean, is there any suggestions you have for people of how they can become more constantly focused on the breath instead of stressing and thinking about all the other stresses they have in their life?
A technique that has worked for me is to simply observe. So not worry about it if you lose focus, but just say, oh, okay, I lost focus. Now I'm back to the breath. I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling. And sometimes it can be nice when you're a beginner to count the breath. So you could count 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 2, 3, 4. Or you could bring in an affirmation or a mantra. Anything that's going to bring your mind back to just exactly what's happening. Right. But it's natural for the mind to go off and go around and be worried about things.
Don't beat yourself up if you all of a sudden realize that.
Just actually realize that that's what's supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. When we're doing breath work and we're going into meditation, the subconscious mind starts dumping all the gunk, the negativity, the stress, and so that's actually a real part of the experience.
Right. Yeah. And I noticed that it was almost like a muscle. You start working a muscle and it's really weak, and the more that you practice it, again, without all of this, this judgment on it, the stronger the muscle gets. So you get better and better at holding your focus on the breath and staying in the present and allowing that experience to unfold.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Good. Well, I think that can be really helpful. I know that it's been really helpful to me as I've grown older, having that ability through meditation to release the stress. And I find that when I'm stressed, I feel like I'm aging. I feel like the world is getting to me, and it's making my joints, it's sore, it's making my muscles weaker, it's making my heart work harder. And that when I'm able to relax and let go, and I know there's tons of studies that have been done on the power of breathing and meditating in releasing stress, which is ultimately the way to live longer and to live well.
Definitely.
So that's great. Do you think maybe you could show us some of these breaths, and we could,
Yes.
you could kind of show them on me. I'll be the guinea pig here.
You'll be the
and
guinea pig.
You can
Excellent.
show me how to do some of these, and so we can demonstrate these for people.
Yes, and I just want to say one thing, which is if you're a beginner, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can start this right now. You can start this today. And I think this summit is an amazing example of that, to just realize, hey, it's not too late, it's completely accessible. These tools are here for you. So the first breath work that I would like to do is a simple, long, deep breath. So if you could just come into a comfortable state, just relaxed, and you can close your eyes. And the long, deep breath is one of the ways to relax the mind and let yourself come into the present moment. So, Dr. Khalsa, if you could just start to relax your low belly and inhale into the low belly, into the midsection, the diaphragm, into the upper chest, and then slowly exhale, reverse the process all the way out and pull the stomach in toward the back of the spine. So let's do that again. Inhaling, expanding, filling those 3 chambers. Exhaling and releasing in toward the back of the spine. And as you're doing this, you can practice the counting technique, counting to 4 on the inhale and 4 on the exhale.
It almost feels like I'm not breathing into my lungs. I'm breathing into my belly. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes, and that's exactly what I was saying, is that it's more of like a visualization that's happening when I'm saying the 3 chambers. But what's really happening is the diaphragm is relaxing and releasing, and that's making more space for the oxygen to come in. So you do have that sensation, and I think it's a nice visualization to just imagine you're expanding like a balloon filling with air.
That's what it felt like.
Because a lot of times we keep ourselves either tight in our diaphragm, in our low abdomen, or we keep ourselves tight in our chest. And that creates a lot of constriction, which leads to the anxiety and the panic and aging.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
So when you're breathing, you imagine it's like you're a vessel, and you're filling up the bottom of the vessel first, and then it kind of goes up and until you're opening up in your chest.
Yes.
And then as you exhale, it feels like you're emptying, and then in the same way.
Yeah, and then also pulling the stomach in toward the back of the spine.
As you're
yeah, which creates like a massaging effect on the internal organs. Another thing is, like, a lot of stress gets trapped in the rib cage. So as that expansion happens across here, also feel the ribs opening, and imagine that that's expanding as well.
Okay.
So that can create a relaxation response.
Okay. Let's do it again. And why don't you join me join me as we do this. So guide me through this again.
Okay, so sitting with a straight spine, shoulders relaxed. Bring your attention to your breath right now, and we're going to move into long, deep breathing. Take a deep breath in all the way down from the low abdomen, all the way up through the diaphragm into the chest, expanding all the way, and then exhale whenever you need to, exhaling, relaxing, gently pulling the stomach in toward the back of the spine. And one more time, inhale, filling like a balloon, filling with air, filling, and then exhaling, reversing that process and letting it come down and releasing out. Good. And take a moment to recover. You may feel slightly dizzy. That's okay. You're not used to getting this much oxygen, but this is really what you need to thrive.
I can feel a definite difference just with those couple breaths. So that's long, deep breathing. What's another breath technique?
So on the other spectrum, we have an energizing breath that is called breath of fire. And I'd really like to share that one with you. It is, this one does take some practice, so please have patience with yourself when you get started. Oh, there's a deer up there.
There's a deer. Maybe we'll even keep that in there.
Okay, so breath of fire is another breathing technique that's on the opposite end of the spectrum. And it's like giving yourself a boost of energy. So breath of fire is a quick, even breath that's done by pulsing right about at the navel point. And so when you first start out, it's kind of funny, but I actually like to have my students stick their tongues out and pant, like think of a dog on a hot summer day, how a dog. Good. So feel how your belly, you're not thinking about it, but your belly is just pulsing in and out. Good.
Yeah.
See that? Good. Now, that's where you start. And then you can get a little bit of more control when you eventually close your mouth and breathe through your nose. So this one can be done through the open mouth, but it's traditionally done through the nose. All right, so let's start you off. Close your eyes. Take one deep breath in, and then all the way out, and relax the stomach, and then just keeping your, that's good. Okay, and we're going to begin with the tongue out, and then we're going to switch to the nose. So begin. Good. You really want to just lightly constrict and then let it release. Good. You can slow it down if you need to at first. Try slowing it down a bit. Perfect. And eventually you want that breath to be a nice, even a little bit faster pace. Good. Perfect. And close your mouth and let's switch to the nostrils. So as you are massaging your stomach and these internal organs, you're actually invigorating the energy at your core. You're going to start to feel some heat right around the fourth vertebra at the base of the spine. You're going to start to feel some heat and some energy moving. And you're also hyperoxygenating. So your mind is going to start processing this. Your mind is going to get out of the way and you're going to feel a clarity coming in. This is like getting a shot of espresso or a nice cup of coffee, but without the caffeine. It's natural. It's effortless. Good. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And sit for a moment because you might feel the effects of that hyperoxygenation. So just give yourself a chance to adjust. Perfect. Good. What did you notice?
Feels really good.
It's energizing,
really
right?
Yeah,
clarifying.
Yeah. It's relaxing and yet, energizing. That's a good word for it.
And then there's one last one that I would like to share, and this is for brain balancing. So alternate nostril breathing is very simple. You're just going to take your right hand and you will plug up your right nostril. And so as I'm talking, you can just go ahead and do it. So inhale through the left nostril, and then switch, and you're going to take your ring finger or your middle finger and plug up the left nostril and exhale through the right. Hold the hand there, inhale through the right, and switch, plug up the right, exhale through the left. And you're going to keep going, just inhaling through the left, switching and exhaling through the right. Keep this pattern going. So this pranayama is for brain balancing. We all know what it's like when our brains are off balance. We get into more of a trauma mindset, and our stress is activated within us. So to balance the brain means that you are synchronizing the left and the right hemispheres. And your two nostrils are like these points of access for the prana to come in and give oxygen to both sides of the brain. So you're going to start to feel something happening right about now. You'll start to feel a sense of peace and calm come over you. Like whatever was worrying you a few moments before just doesn't seem that big of a deal. So I recommend doing alternate nostril breathing for about 2 to 3 minutes. And let's finish this one cycle. Good. And then recovery breath, relax the hand down and take a few long, deep breaths. Recovery breath is good to do so you assess the effects of the breathing technique that you just accomplished. Good job.
You know what it felt like to me is it felt like I'm like a scale.
Oh, like creating the equilibrium.
Yeah, and like I was out of balance somehow. I'm not even sure how, but right now I feel like both sides are in really good balance.
I love that. That's perfect.
That's how it felt when I did that.
So one last breathing technique that I want to share with you is called the healing breath or the 3-part breath.
Okay.
And 3-part breath is especially for emotional release or emotional balancing. 3-part breath is very simple. If you want to put your one hand on your low belly, one hand on your upper chest, and it's 3 parts in through the mouth, 2 parts on the inhale and 1 part on the exhale. It looks like this. Good, so you keep that going. The 3-part breath is even and deep. The first 2 parts are on the inhale, and you're creating half a breath into the lower belly, and again, we're just imagining it's the lower belly filling, and then 1 part into the upper chest or the upper diaphragm and feeling that expansion, but it's completely balanced between the lower part of the breath and the upper part of the breath. Then exhaling all the way out. When we breathe through the mouth, it actually creates this pathway to the brain that says, oh, all right, we're going to do some real deep release work here. And our emotions are very much connected to our breath. So when you breathe through the mouth, it's also similar to how you are when you cry or when you laugh. You have that open mouth. So when you get the breath moving through there, it can actually activate some stored emotions. It can activate something that you need to release that you've been sad about, or even something that you feel very happy about. And it gives you kind of permission to just feel however you feel. But this is an incredible breath to do when you do deeper healing work when you're lying down. You definitely don't want to do it when you're driving. You can do it lightly when you're sitting up, but it's preferable to do it when you're
it's
lying
better.
down.
So this was just to demonstrate.
Yeah, to demonstrate.
Yeah. Yeah, I can feel how you want
feel
to
lightheaded.
be completely relaxed when you're doing this.
Yes, definitely.
Right. Well, you know what I'd really like to end with is you showing us how you use sound to do a deep relaxation. Okay, because I know that's another part of the healing process that you do. So I'm going to suggest that at this point, lie down, find a comfortable place for yourself, completely close your eyes and relax, and listen to the sounds over the next 5 minutes and see how it can take you to a deep state of relaxation.
Now that you are lying on your back, please just get comfortable, relax your arms down to your sides, and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Long, deep breathing, slowing everything down. This is your time for yourself. The neutral state, the meditative mind, takes us back to a place of innocence. I invite you to imagine that you are standing right next to a creek or a river or a lake. Keep breathing deeply and systematically relaxing all of your muscles. As you stand here beside the water, you realize that you have this heavy pack on your back that you didn't know you had been carrying around with you. That pack is filled with all of the things you have collected as you have grown, as you have aged. And I want you to imagine that it's filled with stones that represent many of your life experiences. And now you have a choice as you continue to breathe. You have a decision that you have to make. Are you going to continue carrying this heavy pack that's filled with past experiences? Are you going to keep carrying that around with you? Or are you going to let them go? Now, we will switch to the healing breath, or the 3-part breath. And if this is uncomfortable or too much for you, keep breathing long and deep. Low belly, high chest, exhale. Let your mind follow the sound of the breath as you breathe in, and out. We're going into a releasing phase with the breath work. Imagine that you're opening this pack from your subconscious mind and from all of the traumas that you've been holding and carrying around with you. And if you've made the choice to let go and release, start taking those stones out of your pack and recognizing what it is that maybe has caused you stress, anxiety, or has made you feel in any way heavy or just less than your optimum levels of energy and vitality. We're going to take a few more minutes with releasing, and imagine that you are dropping or throwing those heavy stones into the water. Keep breathing, you're doing great. Low belly, high chest, exhale. Give yourself permission to let these things go. In a short while, you're going to move into relaxation. But before then, I want you to really give it your all. As we've shared with you, your breath is automatic, but when you can learn to control the breath and to work with it and use the tools of your breath, then you can start to shift some of your held patterns. So nice, powerful, full breaths. Move that stagnation through, whatever it is, mental, emotional, physical. Maybe you've been carrying around some pain in that backpack. Maybe the process of aging is scary for you. Take about 3 more breaths. Low belly, high chest, exhale. Feel this power as you release, as you let go. Two more. And last one. Come to a place of stillness. Slow the breath down as we go into a relaxation and a deep meditative state. You're entering a deep meditative state. I want to invite you to totally relax your body and your mind. As you hear the vibration of the bowl, allow it to take you into a place of peace and renewal. Let your mind go. You have the power to heal yourself through relaxation and the breath. staying totally relaxed, begin to bring yourself back into your body, feeling the breath moving through you. Observe this relaxed state and know that this is your true state. This is how you were meant to live your life. And now begin to wiggle your fingers and toes and just start to wake your body up, stretching your legs a little bit. You can stretch your back. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes. Thank you for going on this journey with me.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that deep relaxation as much as I did. I want to thank you. This was
You're
so
welcome.
good. You gave so much information. We're going to have a page on our, website. It'll have all of her information on how to contact her. She does individual healing sessions, and she also does training other healers to do the kind of work that she does. So I'm so grateful for you for giving us this time.
Thank you.
So much.
Thanks for coming up to the forest.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous here.
It's been great to have you. Thank you.
You're welcome.